I'm standing here at Greetham Creek, Hartlepool, on the northeast coast of England. The creek forms the boundary between Hartlepool and Stockton-on-Tees. It flows into the Tees estuary, which is home to some of the largest producers of specialist chemicals in the country and is a base for chemical products from North Sea oil production. Now, Greetham Creek itself has a rich industrial legacy, but actually, historically, it's always been a salt marsh. This particular location behind me has been important for salt production since Roman times, with large-scale commercial activity from the 1800s until 1970s, when the last remaining brine pump stopped. When the facility closed down, the land has since been used for cattle grazing. Because the Tees estuary is the largest deep water port on the east coast of England, it is of critical importance to the UK economy. This is the reason the Environment Agency was tasked with developing a series of improvements to the coastal and river defences to provide flood protection to this particular area. In 2010, we started an ambitious project to develop the area into salt marsh and mudflat. The Environment Agency established a close working relationship from the outset through an environmental steering group, which included Natural England, the RSPB, Hartlepool Borough Council and Teesmouth Bird Club. This environmental steering group has been fundamental to the success of this scheme. The project is vitally important in the implementation of our Tees flood risk management strategy, which aims to protect thousands of homes and nationally important industries. The project restores land back to an intertidal habitat for many species of overwintering birds and harbour and grey seals. This is designed to counteract the process of coastal squeeze, where sea defences can prevent the natural function of the coastline and the development of natural habitats. By creating the managed realignment at Greetham, we're enabling long-term flood protection across the estuary and at Redcar, while at the same time conserving internationally important habitat. The existing embankment was breached at 2 locations in May 2014. Each breach is approximately 70 metres long. A 10-metre wide channel was excavated at the base of these breaches to connect Greetham Creek with the drains on the rest of the site. Breaching was completed during a period of neap tides when the creek levels were low enough for machines to gain access to cut back the defences. Even during a period of low tides, access was restricted and the works took several days. Over 8,000 tonnes of material was removed from the breaches and the material was used elsewhere on site to reduce waste to landfill. The gradient of the drains was linked to Greetham Creek to ensure effective emptying of the site during each tide. This helps the site develop its potential as mudflat and salt marsh. The final stage of the breaching was connecting the site with the creek, removing the farm tracks and ditch crossings that allowed access to the former grazing area. Once completed, the ditches formed tidal watercourses across the site and the field reconnected with Greetham Creek and the Tees estuary for the first time in over 100 years. Tidal flooding of the area allows restoration of natural tidal movement across the site and supports the creation of salt marsh and the formation of mudflats along the restored ditches and low points. These areas will provide new feeding grounds for the wading birds that are so important on this estuary, especially during the winter months. We've constructed over 1 kilometre of new flood embankments on the western edge of the site. The material to build these embankments was taken from an adjacent arable field, where the area has also been sculpted to provide a mixture of smaller ponds for amphibians and dragonflies, and there are also 2 large wader pools. The ponds are naturally lined by clay, and after reprofiling and levelling, topsoil was returned to the bottom of the pools to provide a rich nutrient source to encourage rapid development of invertebrate communities to benefit the feeding waders. Additional biodiversity is encouraged by the creation of scalloped edges to the pools. The works here have been carefully timed to avoid disturbance to sensitive features of the site, including the seals and the overwintering birds, which are of international importance. The site has been named the Saltern Wetlands by the local community to reflect its industrial history, which dates back to the Roman occupation. Saltern is the name for the Roman spoil heaps, of which there are 4 on this site. Greetham North is a flagship project for the Environment Agency and is also an important element in the restoration of the wetland and floodplain function of the Tees estuary. It further establishes links between the RSPB Reserve at Saltholme National Nature Reserve and Seal Sands. The vision we had for this site was to create a functional intertidal area that provides opportunities for wading birds, marine and terrestrial mammals, invertebrates and supporting habitats within the Tees estuary. We think that this project has the potential to be one of Britain's more unusual and dynamic coastal environmental sites, and as it matures and develops, perhaps one of our most exciting ones too.